This year, we didn't just cook. We explored, experiment, maybe even set up the smoke alarm a couple of times. And as we say goodbye to 2024, let's revisit the top 5 dishes that stole the spotlight this year, but all are guaranteed to keep you cooking in 2025. Did your favorite make the list? Let's find out. Number 5. This dish at number 5, it's hearty, comforting. It feels like a hug from Portugal itself. Today, I'll be using a ribeye steak. A lovely fatty cut, perfect to complement this sauce. But really, whatever cut you like the most, use that. And I will season them generously with salt and set them aside for 60 minutes. I like to season my meat in advance to season the inside of the meat pre-cooking. While the steak seasons, let's get all of our prep ready. I'll peel and thinly slice the potatoes and we'll do a thin cut to do matchstick potatoes. Or, if you are a chef, julienne cut. I simply call them matchstick potatoes. Rinse them to remove all the excess starch and dry them in a paper towel. I will measure all the seasonings for the sauce and read a magazine while I wait for the steak to be ready. Interesting. In a medium pan, I will put in some lard. I'm using Iberico pork lard, but you can use regular lard. It's just my preference. Or if you have any trimmings of fat in your freezer, render it and use it. When it's hot, I add my sliced prosciutto and fry it until nice and crispy. This will add some texture and extra flavor to our final dish. And who doesn't love prosciutto? Yummy. This will also help flavor the fat, giving extra flavor to our steak. And steak goes in the pan. Steak with this thickness, I will fry it for 2 to 3 minutes on each side, but I will flip the steak around every 30 seconds. I just think it makes for a better crust, and that's how I like to do it. I will let it rest while I do the sauce and garlics and let them fry for a minute on low heat. A little white wine to refresh the sauce and cook it for a minute. We want to release all the alcohol in the wine. Add a couple of bay leaves in, dark soy sauce, and stir to integrate. Add the mustard and mix everything well. Add the cream in and half the butter in small cubes. I found that in little cubes, it's easier to emulsify the sauce. Also a note, the butter is room temperature. It helps the process. Keep stirring the butter around. When it's well integrated, I'll add the rest of the butter and keep stirring until all the sauce is emulsified. This will make our sauce super creamy and delicious. To finish this sauce, I'll add the chili flakes, taste for seasoning and adjust for salt if needed, stir and drizzle with a little bit of lemon juice. Turn the heat off and let it sit. Time to fry our potatoes. Fill half a pot or a large pan with vegetable oil, and when hot, and by hot I mean 200 Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit, drop our potatoes in. Fry them until they are nice and crispy. Keep moving them around the pot and remove them to dry. Keep an eye out so you don't burn them. Don't forget to season with salt as well as soon as you remove them. And what Portuguese steak does not have a fried egg with it? Well, some for sure, but not this one. Small pan with a little butter, and when hot, put the egg in. I don't like to add salt during the frying process. I prefer just to add in the end. And when the whites are set, remove the egg, season it, and now let's assemble our dish. Some fries on the side, the slice of prosciutto on the side, and drizzle the glossy sauce over it. Set it on the plate, placing the egg over. If you want to be cheeky, put some of the sauce in a little container and you can dip your fries straight into it. Don't tell anyone I told you that. Number 4. Coming in at number 4 is a dish that brings restaurant-worthy flair straight into your kitchen. And once again, for the second year, this dish was my Christmas lunch for the whole family. This proves you don't need a full-blown rotisserie to nail this Portuguese classic. Start by poking the skin with the knife to help moisture come out. Just after this, the most important step is to dry the piglet with a paper towel on both sides, skin and opposite. You need to get the skin as dry as possible. Next, I will overload the skin with salt to pull as much moisture out as I can. Now I'll leave it for 3 to 4 hours before I go back to it. While I wait, I'll prepare my marinade to flavor it. I will be mixing it all in a food processor, just makes the whole process easier. And I will add lard, garlic, bay leaves, salt, smoked paprika. And here lies the big plan to get smokiness into our meat. I'm gonna put a lot of smoked paprika, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, whiskey, almost there, hang on tight, white wine, fish sauce, dark brown sugar, and garlic paste. Wow, that was a marathon. Blend everything together until you form a smooth paste. After the 4 hours, there's loads of moisture coming from the skin. I will pat it dry again and remove the excess salt from the piglet. I will place it in a tray with a rack so air can circulate under it, and will put all of the marinade over the meat side of the pig. Spread it through until all the marinade is gone. Place it in the fridge and let it stay there between 36 to 48 hours. I know it's a long time, but it's essential to dry the skin. After that time, preheat your oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit. I have a gas oven and the heat source is in the bottom. I'll start by placing the suckling pig in the middle shelf for this first stage and let it cook for 1 hour. Halfway through, I will turn the tray around to ensure even cooking. Smells good. Pig is in the oven and you can subscribe while we wait to flip it over for more delicious recipes like this one. 1 hour gone, now I will flip the suckling pig to start the work on the skin. To ensure a full crispy skin, I will place some potatoes under the piglet for no other purpose than it is to stretch the top skin. Looks good like this. I will now remove the top shelf carefully because it's hot and place the tray on the bottom. I will increase the temperature to 250 Celsius or 475 Fahrenheit, the highest setting on my oven, and will let it cook for 60 to 90 minutes. During this time, I will come every 15 minutes and will brush the skin with our sauce, hopefully without burning myself. Failed already. Remember to flip the tray 40 minutes in, even cooking. 80 minutes gone and look at it. Golden brown. I can feel the crispiness by the touch. I will remove it and let it rest for a minimum 15 minutes. Once it's rested, I will chop it. Listen to this crack. To break all this pig, I'll use a strong knife and a hammer to break through the bones and slice the piglet into small serving pieces. Look at how juicy it is. To finish our sauce, just get a bowl and a strainer and sieve all the sauce from the tray until all that flavor is in the bowl. Beautiful. Put in a tray with some orange and time to eat this beauty. Number 3. And number 3, you get a dish that brings the sea into your plate in the most delicious way. Creamy, briny, and packed with shellfish. It's definitely the kind of meal that turns any gathering into a celebration. Start with the seafood. If you're using shelled prawns, thaw them overnight in the fridge, peel them, and save those shells. They're not trash, they're flavor. Use them to make a stock. I always batch make stock ahead of time and freeze it in 500ml bottle. It's my little kitchen hack for making great food a little easier. It will last you a little over a month in the freezer. But if you're making fresh stock, simmer those prawn shells with water, onion, garlic, and bay leaf for about 2 hours. But today I will use both prawns, ready frozen for the filling and shelled to decorate the pot. But whatever prawn you end up using, season them with salt, garlic paste, and garlic powder. Time to give these prawns some love. For the shelled ones, we're searing them for about 2 to 3 minutes per side until they turn pink and start to caramelize. As for the other prawns, same process, sear, and out they go. This little step adds so much flavor, and trust me, it's worth the extra minute or 2. Traditionally in this dish, we use clams, but when I went to the fishmonger, the cockles were so fresh and beautiful, I could not resist. And they're also much more affordable and packed with flavor. Soak them overnight in salted water to get rid of any grit. Change the water a couple of times until it runs clear. No fresh clams or cockles, use mussels. And frozen is perfectly acceptable too. Simple but flavorful. A drizzle of olive oil, medium-high heat, and a quick toss until the shells pop open like they're excited to join the party. About 3-4 minutes, it's all it takes. Once they're open, they're ready. Any that stays stubbornly closed, straight to the bin. As for the crab, I cooked it in boiling water with onion and garlic for 10 minutes. Once it's cooled, I'll pick the meat from the smaller legs and crack open the big claws to top the final dish. And don't forget all this good stuff inside the shell. You can eat nearly everything in the crab. Just don't eat the shell and the lungs. Everything else is yummy food. Mince 1 large onion along with 3 garlic cloves. And finally chop a red bell pepper for sweetness and color. The pepper isn't really traditional, but I love the depth it brings to the dish. For extra flavor, gather all the parsley stems and finely chop them. It will greatly increase the overall freshness of the dish. If you got fresh tomatoes, chop 2 or grab a can of good quality tomato. Use fresh today. This dish deserves it. Let's measure our rice. We're using a Portuguese rice, medium grain. This rice will give us that creamy, almost risotto-like texture we're aiming for. And don't forget the stock. we will place it in a pot and warm it up to use when cooking the rice. Keep your prep simple and organized. Heat olive oil in a large heavy bottom pot over medium heat. Toss in your diced onions and garlic with a pinch of salt and let them saute on low-medium heat for about 5 minutes until they're soft and fragrant. No need for color here, we're going for sweet and mellow, not charred. Next, add a tomato paste to amp up the depth and richness. Sugar goes in, not to make it sweet, but to balance out the acidity of the tomatoes. Fry it well until everything darkens slightly and start looking like the beginning of something incredible. In goes the garlic paste, garlic powder and onion powder, and cook everything for a minute. Now your red pepper, chopped tomatoes and the parsley stems. Let this mixture cook for about 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally, until it's thick, rich and jammy. This step builds the foundation of flavor, so take your time with it. Trust me, it's worth it. Drop in a bay leaf for that earthy undertone, and here's one of my secret weapons, fish sauce. Don't worry, it won't make your dish taste fishy, but it'll add this deep, savory umami note that takes everything to another level. I'll pour in the white wine to deglaze the pot, scraping up all those brown bits stuck at the bottom. They're pure flavor. Let it simmer until the liquor reduces, adding a lovely brightness to balance the richness of the seafood and rice. Someone once told me the secret to perfect seafood rice is the wine. They didn't say if it was for the pot or for the cook. Honestly, why not both? This is the moment where all those flavors come together into something magical. It's already smelling amazing. And here's another secret to elevate your rice. Toast the rice in the base before adding the stock. Add it straight to the mixture, stirring well so every grain gets coated in those rich, smoky flavors. Let it fry for about 2 to 3 minutes. You'll hear that satisfying sizzle and start to smell a nutty toasted aroma. That's your cue. And once the rice is toasty, pour in some stock. My stock is a prawn stock. Just enough to cover everything for now. Stir it well, making sure it's all combined. This is the point where you need to season. If you don't, the rice will miss out on that bold, balanced flavor. Bring the mixture to a gentle boil, then reduce the heat to low and let it simmer uncovered. Stir occasionally to prevent sticking, and over the next 15-20 minutes, you'll see the rice soak up all that stock, transforming into a beautiful creamy base. Just keep adding stock during this process, and if it starts to look a little dry, just before the rice is fully cooked, just add a little more stock. We're aiming for creamy, not clumpy or stodgy. And remember, this isn't supposed to be a dry dish. It's got that luscious, almost stew-like consistency. Each time you add stock, give it a taste and adjust the seasoning as needed. With the rice nearly cooked and perfectly creamy, taste for seasoning one final time and adjust until perfect. This will be the last stage to adjust seasoning before adding all the seafood. And now the bay leaf makes its exit. He gets to retire gracefully, unlike me who still has to finish this dish. Now for the secret weapon, MSG. Just a pinch to amplify all those beautiful flavors. It doesn't overpower it, it just makes everything taste more. It's time to bring the seed to the table. Add the prawns and cockles directly to the pot, nesting them gently into the simmering rice. Any liquid you have from the seafood cooking, toss it into the pot. Yum! And please don't be like me, use a bigger pot. This is ridiculous. And the final touch, crab meat. Gently fold it into the rice, letting its sweet, delicate flavor melt into every bite. The crab will spread throughout the dish and add a fantastic taste on every bite. This right here separates a basic seafood rice from an out-of-this-world experience. And crown the dish with the crab legs and the prawns, arranging them beautiful on top. This is what celebration smells like. This is just a showstopper. We're almost there. To finish, sprinkle some freshly stopped parsley on the top. It's not just for the looks, though it does make this dish camera ready, it also adds a pop of freshness to balance the richness. Add a few lemon wedges around the edges. A quick squeeze of lemon just before you take a bite brightens up the flavors and gives it that final zing. And take a moment, appreciate this masterpiece. Number 2. This dish is a celebration of food on your plate, and it just had to make the list. What makes or breaks this dish is only one thing, its sauce. This is the most important component of this dish. It's what binds it together and elevates all the meats in it. The complex sauce is composed of 2 different stocks and it will take many hours to achieve. So let's begin with our chicken stock. 30 minutes before cooking, I'll season the thighs with a strong pinch of salt, and I'll roughly chop the onion and the carrot. No need to remove the skins, just rinse before using it, and I'll prepare the garlic. On the pan, when it's hot, I'll add the chicken and brown the skin. I'll add the vegetables in with a pinch of salt, keeping the heat high. Let the vegetables get some color, and I'll add the garlic. When done, I'll add the white wine and deglaze the pot. Add the fish sauce and the dark soy sauce, letting everything cook for a couple minutes until the alcohol goes. Garlic powder and onion powder go in, and then add both the chicken stock and the vegetable stock. Both these stocks are store-bought, nothing fancy here. I'll add some water, bring it to a boil and let it cook for 3 hours on low heat, and then I will simmer it for 30 minutes until it reduces by a third. While this stock goes, let's start our prawn stock. I have some prawn heads I saved in the freezer and I'll use them today. I'll also prepare my onions, carrots and garlic for this. Add some olive oil in the pot and fry the heads until they get some color. I'll add the vegetables in with a pinch of salt until they get some color as well, and add the white wine to deglaze the pot. When done, I'll add the garlic, let it cook for a minute, and then I'll add the fish sauce and the dark soy sauce, letting everything cook for a couple minutes until the alcohol goes. Garlic powder and onion powder go in, and then add both the fish stock and the vegetable stock. I'll add some water. I'll let it cook for 3 hours on a very low heat, and then simmer for 30 minutes until it reduces by a third. And when both our stocks are ready, I'll strain them, and in the big pot I'll add 1 liter of the chicken stock and 750 milliliters of the prawn stock. This should be roughly what you end up with from your stock. If you have any left, save it and use it on any other dish you do later. Set it on a low heat and add the beer, whiskey, Worcester sauce, tomato passata, tomato paste, sugar, cayenne pepper, and a pinch of salt. Putting it on a low heat, we stir for a couple of seconds to integrate everything and let it cook, wait for it, 4 hours. We need to let all these flavors befriend each other. And while we wait, let's start our dough. A soft yet compact bread is ideal for this sandwich. I'll get all the liquids together in a jug. I'll add the water, milk, sugar, and yeast. Give it a quick mix and let it sit for 10 minutes to see if the yeast is alive. I'll peel and cut the potato into small cubes for fast cooking, and this will add a smoother texture to our bread. In a pan with hot boiling water, I will cook them until fork tender. Drain it and pass it to the strainer with the help of the back of a spoon. This will make them super silky. In the mixer bowl, I'll add 340 grams of our flour and the salt. I'll start mixing on low speed and add the potatoes in. The yeast is well alive, time to add it to our mix. Slowly add the liquid into the mix and let everything come together for a couple of minutes. Add the butter, and when integrated, add the eggs one by one. It will be wet at first. Add the rest of the flour and mix for 4 to 5 minutes on medium until dough is uniform and releases from the bowl. Cover the bowl and let it rise for 2 hours or grow a little more than double. The stocks are cooking, the dough is proofing, time for some Mario Kart. A couple of hours and 0 wins later, the dough is looking great. So I'll place it in a board and shape it to a loaf shape. I will put it in an oil baking tin, cover and let it rise for 1 hour before placing it in a preheated oven to 180 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. Bake it for 30 minutes or until nice and golden brown on the top. Remove from the tin to a cooling rack and let it stay until it's time to assemble the sandwich. On our sauce, time to increase the heat and let the sauce reduce by a third. At this point, it is time to start tasting for seasoning and intensity. The sauce should be light with a little hint of heat and a tomatoey note at the end of the taste. If it feels too light, reduce a bit more until it's strong but not overpowering. When the flavor is perfect, I'll prepare a little slurry with cornstarch and water to give the sauce a beautiful glaze. Do it little by little until it's glossy and uniform. This is how I like my sauce. When done, set it aside and time to cook our filling. Season the steak with some salt and add a nudge of butter into a pan. Melt it and place the steak in and in a very low heat. And I know it's counterintuitive, but this is such a thin piece of meat that too much heat will make it hard immediately. You heard it here first. So this slow and soft cooking will keep the steak nice and soft. Now, I'll slice our sausage in half and slice the chorizo in stripes, trying to match the sausage size. I'm using a sausage with caramelized onions in it because I like the sweetness of it in this dish. I'll fry them in the pan, removing the chorizo when it gains some color and the sausage when it's cooked. Slice the bread and get 2 slices nice and thick, around 2 centimeters each. To finish, butter the bread using the butter we used to cook the sausage. Place it in a pan and toast on only one side. When golden brown, I'll begin the assembly. It's been a long couple of days. Let's get this ready. I'll place a slice of bread with the crispy side down, some ham, place the steak, the sausage and the chorizo all in one layer, place one slice of cheese and some more ham, and cover with the other slice of bread, crispy side up. Cover with cheese slices until the sandwich is covered. I'll use toothpicks to stick the cheese to its position, and in a preheated oven at 150 Celsius or 290 Fahrenheit, I'll place it in until the cheese is all nice and melted. And while it melts, let's fry our egg. Small pan with some butter, I'll place the egg in, and when the whites have set, I'll remove it, and our sandwich is ready. Look at it, beautiful. Remove all the toothpick, plate it, placing the egg on the top, and drizzle a good ladle of sauce over it. Wow! I'm not gonna lie, this has been the hardest dish to do so far in the channel, but it's so worth it. This is the best sandwich in the world. Number 1. The dish that ruled them all this year. It's rich, hearty, and unapologetically comforting. This is the kind of recipe that keeps you coming back for more. Let's get started with the filling. We're building something rich, hearty, and bold. Perfect for when you need to feed the crowd. Begin by chopping your onion and carrot, and avoid cutting your son's finger there. Don't worry about perfection here. Just do it small enough. Heat some olive oil in a large pan, and toss in the onions and carrots with a pinch of salt. Keep the heat high to get some color on them. Let them cook for 5 minutes until nice and brown. Take your time here. This is the base of all that flavor. Imagine this as the foundation of a house. You want it strong, so don't build it made of straws. Next comes the garlic, minced and in paste form. We're doubling up for extra flavor. Let it cook for just a minute, long enough for their irresistible smell to fill the kitchen. Remove all the veg from the pan and reserve. Keep the heat high, and let's add the stars, the beef and the chorizo. And in the search for maximum flavor, I am using 20% fat ground beef. As for the chorizo, Portuguese. Mince it in a processor and throw it in the pan along with the ground beef. This smoky chorizo brings that unmistakable Portuguese flavor. Chorizo is like that friend who always looks cool without even trying, while I'm over here struggling to not set off the smoke alarm. Again, let the meat brown, breaking it up as you go. Once it's starting to brown, sprinkle in some flour to help thicken the filling and crust better. This will help keep everything creamy when we serve it. Season with paprika, onion powder, white pepper, and Worcestershire sauce. Add the tomato paste and sugar, letting it cook down for a couple of minutes. This deepens the flavor and adds a rich color to the mix. Next up, red wine. Not only does it make the dish taste amazing, but it also makes you feel like you know what you're doing in the kitchen. It's like that moment in life where you pretend you have it all together. Except this time, finally you're right. Now give that a minute to simmer down, making sure you scrape your pot for all that goodness stuck there. Time to put back our onion and carrot mix back in the pan. And after everything is involved, add the beef stock and passata and let it simmer away until we reduce 2/3 of the liquid. I am aiming for a creamy mix. And while it simmers, let's get those potatoes boiling. Peel and chop them into large chunks. Nothing fancy here, we just want them to cook evenly. Toss them into salted water and bring to a boil. Let them cook until they're fork tender, soft enough that you can pretend you're testing them like a professional chef, when really you're just having fun stabbing them repeatedly. Once they're ready, drain the potatoes, make them smooth, no lumps, no excuses. I'll pass it through the sieve, and I'm doing it while they're hot, or it'll be a lot of extra work if they cool down. You can use a ricer to make your life easier, and if I haven't mentioned before, smooth. Now, let's make those potatoes irresistible. I'll put in some garlic paste for that extra kick, and I'll be making an inspired aligot, a French technique to make the mash creamy and cheesy. I'll add in the butter and cream, mixing it all until the mash is silky smooth. This is what comfort food dreams are made of. Just don't think about the calories, it's for the holidays, right? Right, taste for seasoning and adjust if necessary. And then, here comes the magic, the mozzarella cheese. Add it gradually, stirring until the potatoes turn stretchy and melty. That's how you know you're doing it right. This part is a bit of an arm workout, so use the arm you've got the most practice using. In the original recipe, we use 2 kinds of cheese in the aligot, but I'm aiming for the texture experience here, while keeping the potato the hero of this mash. This will take a solid 10 minutes to get the right consistency. Just keep stirring constantly and stretching until it looks like bubblegum. This looks perfect. When you get this stretch on it, beautiful. Let's assemble. Spread the beef and chorizo filling evenly to your baking dish, making sure spoon the cheesy mash over the filling. You want every bite to have that perfect balance of rich meat and creamy potatoes. Pop it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 180 Celsius or 375 Fahrenheit. This is where your kitchen starts to smell like the holidays. Look at that pie, bubbly and just begging to be served. It's the kind of dish that makes people think you've been cooking all day, but really, well, you have, but it was worth it, wasn't it? Let it sit for 30 minutes to settle down and serve it into a plate so you can enjoy all that hard work you had and taste how delicious this is. My top 5 dishes of 2024, each bringing something special to the table. Or did we miss one you loved and it's not on this list? And as I wish you a happy new year, here's a lighter meal for you where you can use all those leftovers you have left from the parties and transform it into a perfect new meal. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next year. Be happy.